Hello, Mary. Today I want to review a book. The book I want to review is Past-Life and Karmic Tarot by Edain McCoy, with a foreword by Mark D.K. Guerre. This is one of the special topics in Tarot series, which is a series I really recommend. Basically, it has all sorts of specialty topics. Very often when you buy tarot books, it's just like with, for example, books on Wicca. You'll get the same material again and again. Though I'm not saying by that it's not a point in reading many of these books because each author sees it a different way. That's generally the same thing. It's how to read the cards, some layouts, what each card means, the typical. These are more cards that will, or a book, that will take into special topics with cards in this case, past life and karmic tarot, which basically tells you a lot about how to discover past lives and how to figure out karmic burdens if you believe in such things with the tarot. So let's have a look at the book. Boom, boom, boom. We have chapter 1. The inverted pentacle and invoking the pentacle spread. This is basically a spread that will help you contact earlier lives and so on and so forth. And let's have a little bit of a look at it. Here we are. Here's the pentacle spread. Inverted pentacle spread. And then we have the dark moon spread, part 1 and 2, which is, we can also have a look at. If I could actually find it, there we are. This is the dark moon spread. Then we have the woven straw of Saint Bridget's cross and the iris cross spread, which is chapter 3. And all of these spreads has to do specifically with figuring out past life and karmic burdens. And let's have a look at those two. '28, where are you? This is a spread that's in quite a few books. The Bridget cross one. And then you have the iris cross spread, which I think is also in a lot of books. That's pretty common. Some of these spreads are very common. It's typical spreads that are then just used, which is then just used. No, this is the iris cross spread. I mean, this is the Bridget one. The Bridget one still seems to be shown. But yeah, it's variations of the same thing. Excuse me. Those two spreads, they're always, yeah. Anyway, then you have the intricacies of Solomon's Seal and the Solomon's Seal spread. You can have a look at that. 39. Which is a somewhat complicated spread. Very good for ritual magic though. And then we have the Karmic Choice spread, which I think is a new one for this book. It's a pretty decent one. And where do we have it? Here, it's a huge spread. Quite decent one though. Then we have the Rainbow Bridge spread and a variation. Let's look at that. It's sort of like a more advanced horseshoe spread. And we have the model of the Tree of Life and the Tree of Life spread, which is 61. This the Tree of Life spread is also a pretty common one. And then we have the big picture spread. Yes, picture spread. Now, these spreads are specifically chosen for being very useful for exactly, well, figuring out the past lives and such. However, you can use them for a lot of other kinds of readings. So, any other Feng Shui spread here? 79. You might ask, I'm showing you a lot of spreads. Is there anything but spreads in this book? Not a lot, but as soon as I'm done with going through the various spreads in here, we'll get to that. The life convergence spread, which I really like. So not a huge one. The omniscient time spread, 94. It's another spread that is presented in a lot of books that there are a ton of variations of. Growth over three lifetime spread. This one is a pretty useful one if you believe in reincarnation. It's basically a spread that you know how you do the tarot, and you, for example, have a look at 3 months in your life. Well, this one is meant to look at 3 lifetimes and your soul's development through them. And you have the next challenge spread, which is good whether or not you believe in reincarnations or not. That can always be quite useful. It looks very odd though. Then we have a cross-quarter circle, sacred circle spread. And a variation. Come on, they know you there. There you have it. And then we have the constellation past life wheel, which is well, a variation of the zodiac wheel spread. I'm asking the past. Let me see when I read it with this up a spread. I'm not actually sure. I think it's a spread. Yeah. It's this one. Common cross spread. And then we have the past life epiphany spread, which is a pretty nice one. Also a cross spread. Now, what do I like about this book? What do I not like about this book? Well, what I like about this book is that I generally like books with various spread and tarot layout collections, and this is a tarot layout collection. Don't let the title fool you, that's what it is. This is a book with tarot layouts. Now, and the tarot layouts are very good, and they are it's a very nice collection for doing past life readings. So for that, I think it's very useful. What I don't like is that it's only spreads in here. I might as well call it Past Life Spread Collection. There's so much information that could be given about how to use the tarot and other forms of divination cards to work with your past lives and energies from past lives and so on and so forth. And very little of that is mentioned. It's more, this is a spread to do that, this is a spread to do this. And there are books with just huge collections of tarot spreads that might be better if that's all what you're looking for. This book didn't give me what I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be a lot more than a collection of spreads. All in all, though, it's pretty good. The spreads are explained very well. Almost all of them, have have variations. All the spreads have sections for each of the cards in the spread. That's very well done. If you want to learn some spreads very well, this book will definitely teach you that. And they have also chosen spreads that fit very well with the theme of the book. I just wish they would have done more than just I give you spreads. How to work with that. And yeah, I mean, for a lot of us, this is a very interesting topic. The past lives. Now, I'm not necessarily a great believer in karma and that you somehow carry with you the burdens of earlier lives, that if you did something bad in an old life, you necessarily are punished for it in this life. I do, however, believe that we can be carrying with us energies. So that if somebody, for example, was abused a lot in an earlier life, it's a good chance you might be attracting that in this one, and so on and so forth. And this book can help you use tarot spreads as a tool to figure that out. I just wish they would have explored more, because the tarot has so much more to offer on that field than what is presented in this book. So, as a book on tarot spreads, it's excellent. As a book about past life recollection with the tarot, it falls flat. So it's so difficult to give a give a dice throw to this book, because the descriptions of the spreads are so good. It's a great book of tarot spreads, but it's not what it tells me on the tin. It's like I go out and I buy a tin that says hermetized mushrooms, and inside there's these great, amazing um, pieces of pineapple, hermetized pineapple. What do I do then? Do I complain that I've gotten these amazing pineapple? Perhaps because I want to get the mushrooms, but it's still good. So yeah, I'll give these 2 dice throws. As a collection of tarot spreads, I'll give this 9 out of 10. There are some great spreads in here. They're very well described. You will understand these spreads very well when you're done reading this book. As a book about using the tarot for past life understanding, I will give this book 5 out of 10. There are some information in here, but it's mostly linked to the spreads. It definitely can give you some interesting information on how to use the tarot for such self-development, but it won't necessarily give you all that you expect from a book named so and not named Tarot Spreads. But yeah, it's definitely not a bad book, and if you like tarot spreads, I highly recommend it. And that is my review of Past-Life and Karmic Tarot by Edain McCoy, and with foreword by Mark K. Greer. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Have a great day, and blessed be.